Stress it right, mastering word stress in dates. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our English language learning series. Today, we're going to dive deep into a very interesting topic: word stress in dates. Why is this important, you might ask? Well, proper word stress can really make a difference in being understood and sounding natural in English. Let's get started. Before we delve into dates, let's quickly recap what word stress is. It's the emphasis that we give to a syllable within a word. In English, not all syllables are pronounced with the same intensity. One syllable usually gets more emphasis than the others. It's pronounced a bit louder, longer, and at a slightly higher pitch. Remember, proper word stress is key to sounding natural in English. Now, let's move on to our main focus: dates. In English, when we're saying the date, the stress usually falls on the day and the last part of the year. So, if we're saying July 13th, 2023, we'd stress 13 and 23. It sounds like July 13, 23. Notice how the stressed parts are louder and longer. That's word stress in action. For decades, we generally stress the second part of the number, like 1960s, or 2thou sans. But when we're talking about the first decade of a century, we usually say O instead of 0, and stress the O and the last digit, 2003. For centuries, we typically stress the first part of the number, 18th century. When talking about the specific days of the month, things get a bit more complex. For days 1 to 12, we typically use cardinal numbers, like 1, 2, 3, etc., and the stress falls on these numbers. But for days 13 to 31, we use ordinal numbers, like 13th, 14th, 15th, etc., and the stress usually falls on the second syllable, 13th, 14th, etc. Here are some quick tips to remember. When pronouncing the date, don't forget: 1. For the year, stress the last part of the number. 2. For the day, stress the last syllable if it's an ordinal number, and the whole number if it's a cardinal number. 3. When referring to decades or centuries, stress usually falls on the part of the number that changes. And that's it for today's lesson on word stress in dates. Keep practicing these patterns, and before you know it, you'll be sounding more natural and confident in English. Remember, practice makes perfect, and don't be afraid to experiment with word stress. See you next time.